Good morning. Good morning to our guests. If you give me just a second, there's about 800 little angels behind you that I need to address before we start our program. Again, students, we talked about this morning. We talk about it every time we're together. Our expectations for you are always the same. We have high expectations for you and your behavior. We expect you to pay attention, we expect you to be engaged, and we expect you to be on your very best behavior. As I said, welcome. I'm Steve Quatter. I'm the principal here at Mississinewa High School, and you are in for a treat. If you have never been to one of our Veterans Day programs, or if you've been several times over the years, you know that you are in for a treat. So welcome. We have our choir, our band, and a lot of performers here prepared, ready for you as we honor our veterans today. At this time, I'd like to bring up our senior class president, Emma Neal, for a welcome and to start the pledge.
Hi, I would just like to reiterate what Mr. Quatter said and welcome to the Mississinewa High School's Veterans Day program. Please rise and get ready for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing as the Mississinewa Band presents the Star-Spangled Banner. Color Guard Commander. I pledge allegiance to the States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Webster defines hero as one who is distinguished by exceptional courage, nobility, and strength, someone who fights for a cause. Our men and women in the armed service, both past and present, fit this definition. To you, our unsung heroes, we present this musical tapestry of patriotism and national pride for all you have done.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Today, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
Shake of tears.
December 13th.
I would now like to recognize and introduce Mississinewa High School essay reader winner, Rebecca Westling, as she tells us what Veterans Day means to her.
Personally, Veterans Day is very important. It's a day to spend appreciating the men and women who spent years to dedicate their entire lives to our country and its freedom. They dedicate it to us. Growing up, around half of the men and women in my family were in the military at some point. I remember when I was 8 or 9 years old, I asked my cousin Tim what Afghanistan was like, and within a split second, his face went from smiling to a cold, blank expression. He said, "Excuse me," and left the room. My Aunt Cindy told me that Tim cannot talk about those things. She said that he's seen a lot, done a lot, and lost a lot of friends, and it hurts him to talk about it. Going to fight for our country does more than change you. It takes a piece of you. If these men and women fighting for our lives will spend months, years, and even dedicate their whole lives for us, for our country, what is one day of recognition? In my opinion, one day is not enough. These amazingly brave people have experienced terrific things. So I ask you, how will you honor our veterans? How will you celebrate the privileges you have? Privileges they have fought with everything in them to give you. Let me tell you a few simple acts of consideration that can easily be done. You can stand for the pledge, put your hand over your heart. You could donate to military benefits, visit veterans' homes, show love and appreciation. You'd be surprised how much a thank you card and a handshake will mean, because little things matter. How will you honor our veterans?
Sometimes we forget the sacrifice that families have made to let their loved ones go and serve our country. To the families we say, we will stand with you. To our veterans we say, we will stand with you. As our country united, we say, we will stand with you. You are not alone.
Our flag, the great symbol of freedom displayed with a sense of pride in the country for all who serve. In 1998, this piece was written to commemorate the restoration of the flag that flew over Fort McHenry, which Francis Scott Key penned the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In this tribute to freedom, consider these words. Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, I gave my best to you.
Dream of a nation where freedom would endure. Can I help you?
Just a cup of coffee, please.
Coming right up. Oh, there's no charge.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thanks again.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
Do you want to take a picture taking the soldier? Can I take a picture?
Sure.
All right, smile. There you go.
Sir, my son would like to ask you a question.
Are you a hero too? That man said you were.
I just served as best I could.
Can we take a picture?
Sure.
All right, smile big. What do you say?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
Can I get you a refill?
This powerful selection begins with the Emma Larraz's poem, The New Colossus, followed by America and America the Beautiful. As we look to the Lady Liberty to light the way to freedom, we also know that she stands for hope, for a new tomorrow and a better life.
Land of the
American songwriter Irving Berlin had already lived through one World War and knew another one was brewing when he wrote this song. As we commemorate 100 years of the end of World War I, we also honor our personal family members, Mississinewa students, alumni, and faculty who have served and are serving our country today. Special thanks to Cindy Hatt for her work on this project, and may God bless America.
This is a noble piece that honors all veterans and servicemen alike. It presents a fanfare and sweeping theme to show the beauty and strength of our American heroes. We hope you enjoy For Our Heroes.
Mansions of the Lord was written for the motion picture We Were Soldiers and was also featured during the Ronald Reagan Memorial Service in Washington, D.C. This beautiful hymn pays tribute to all the men and women, past and present, who have served our country.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be exploring the differences between the 5 branches of the U.S. military: the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. In total, the U.S. military is one of the world's largest, and today, this pool of recruits consists primarily of volunteers.
I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit, and I will never leave a fallen comrade.
The oldest and largest of the 5 military services, the U.S. Army is the country's primary force on the ground. With the motto, "This will defend," the Army was established to protect the U.S. and its interests by using troops, tanks, artillery, and more. The Continental Army was set up on June 14, 1775, and by 1784, it had been disbanded and was replaced by the United States Army. Broken into 3 components, today's active duty Army is supported by 2 reserve units, the Army Reserves and the National Guard. Recruits live by a set of core values that include loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Together, these values form the acronym LEADERSHIP. Established as the Continental Marines on November 10, 1775, the U.S. Marine Corps was originally created as a landing force for the Navy. By 1798, the modern Marine Corps was born, and the group specialized in obtaining and maintaining control of beachheads. More lightweight and mobile than the Army, Marines can be deployed quickly. This is one reason they have served in almost every military conflict in American history. Known for being the cream of the crop, the Marines train harder and longer than other branches, with a rigorous 12-week-long boot camp challenging them physically and mentally. Their motto, Semper Fidelis, or Always Faithful, is a testament to their fiercely loyal attitude. The Continental Congress established the Navy at the same time as they founded the Army in 1775. Today, the United States Navy is by far the largest in the world. Its primary job has always been to preserve the freedom of the seas and to guard the country against adversaries. During conflicts, the Navy enhances the power of the Air Force. The Navy deploys their aircraft carriers in areas where permanent landing strips are not viable and carries roughly 80 aircraft per carrier. They can also attack targets on land using guns and missiles and use their submarines to strike at enemy shores. The Navy also aids the Marines by bringing them to the battle zones. The motto of the Navy is Honor, Courage, Commitment, and these are the rules by which each member lives. Established in 1947, the Air Force is the youngest of the military branches. It was World War II that illustrated to the United States the importance of air power. Prior to that time, the main task of the Air Force was to support forces on the ground. Since then, they have been a separate service, with the motto, Aim High, Fly, Fight, Win. Therefore, as it is the Army's responsibility to protect the U.S. and its interests on the ground, the Air Force does the same in air and space. This includes the use of a variety of different aircraft as well as military satellites. Similar to the Army, the Air Force is enhanced by the Air Force Reserves and National Guard. Founded in 1790 as the Revenue Cutter Service, by 1915 the U.S. Coast Guard was formed. During times of peace, their primary task is the enforcement of both domestic and international laws, as well as boat safety and rescues. However, during wars, the Coast Guard can be operated as a service in the Department of the Navy. Comprised of boats, ships, aircraft, and coastal stations, they are sometimes supported by the Coast Guard Reserves and the Volunteer Coast Guard Auxiliary when necessary. Their motto, Semper Paratus, means always ready and refers to the high level of preparedness expected of the Coast Guard. Dating back even before the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the United States military is a sacred institution that has played a huge role in the history of both the U.S. and the world.
And it makes us what we are today, the best Army on the face of the earth.
Our next selection plays tribute to all 5 branches of the military. When you hear your service song, please stand and be recognized by our audience.
At this time, I would request that everyone would remain silent and have a reverent spirit for the playing of taps. I would now like to recognize two groups that are here with us today. Our first group, if you are a Mississinewa High School student and you are currently or will be enlisted in any of the branches of the military, please stand and be recognized. I would now ask one more time for those that are here with us today that are veterans and have served our country to please stand and be recognized by this crowd. I thank you for coming today. Again, I told you at the beginning you were in for a treat. Our choir and our band, as well as our Civil Air Patrol and our speakers never let us down. So again, to our veterans, thank you. To our students who have enlisted, thank you. Again, each of you for your service and for the dedication you have to our country. Students, outstanding job today. I'm very, very proud of your efforts. We will dismiss to second period. Again, we thank everyone for coming. Have a great day.
Have a good day, buddy.
I did it anyway.